We started off with a program called Deputy, which I'm sure you're probably familiar with. And then there was ongoing issues with Deputy, so we switched over to ShiftCare. And I'm the only one, I guess, of the team that have sort of been through this whole process before. And I wanted to sort of compare the differences that I sort of have experienced. When we made the decision, we knew Deputy wasn't working for us. And it was extremely frustrating. There was not a lot of information out, and there wasn't even a lot of programs available to us. I'd previously used Brevity, and there'd been a few other programs, but none of them were quite. They all had their faults, put it that way, and I think that's going to be no matter what program you use. So when we switched over to ShiftCare, they were very good on the sales job, to be honest, but once it came to implementing the system and getting up and going, you would hear crickets basically from them, and I remember I was actually literally begging them. I said, I will employ someone from you guys to come down and show the team, get it up and going here, because we are struggling. They didn't have any videos or anything like that you know, you see now, and nothing. Then I started getting some virtual admin assistants that were local to Australia involved, and they actually had to pretty much bully ShiftCare into giving us a somebody to speak to about it, and we were one of their premium users. And they found the process extremely difficult to find someone who they could actually talk to, and just to say, these are the concerns that we're having. So pretty much I made the decision, I'm going to say probably 2-3 years ago, that I was actually going to look for someone else that would provide that service or that more supportive environment when you're switching over. To be honest, the virtual admins, the Australian ones, that actually introduced me as a support coordinator to you guys. And I found the process simple. Am I using it correctly? I don't believe so. I also don't believe I'm using it to its full capacity. However, we are slowly learning in that respect, and a huge part of that has been not being the most proactive in that area. However, then when I heard that you were bringing out the scheduling feature, I pretty much said to the guys, we're changing over, regardless of whether they liked it or not liked it. And I think I even sort of said, I can see how this platform would change, because whilst it's a scheduling platform, it's not really. It's more a whole system program. I can see how the flow of work would change, other forms of programs that we have, all of that sort of stuff. So I've sort of held on to the big picture. In the transition over, I think even if I go away, and I will say there was quite a reluctance on the part of a few people to actually do the switch, and however, we persevered. And what I found is that every single time we have reached out via email or chat feature, we've used the chat feature, we've used email, we've been responded to, which is totally different to the experience that I had from going from Deputy to ShiftCare. The videos have been really, really good. It is an effort to remember. Often you sort of think you'll see a video and then you'll sort of put it away, chuck it away in your brain. And then 3 months later, you might need that little bit of information, and you sort of like, hang on, I remember hearing something about that, but where did I actually hear that? And where was that shown? And so that takes a little bit of time to go and find where it was actually dealt with. And I think sometimes the natural reaction of people is just to, oh, that's too hard, as opposed to actually going and finding it out. But I have found you guys to be really, really willing to talk to us and willing to hold our hands basically through the process, which I wanted to say, express my appreciation for that. And I also like, it's not perfect. I don't think there will ever be a system that is perfect. But I also like the fact that you've taken on board all our feedback. And, you know, whether it's been a glitch in the system, which we just happen to pick up on, or whether it's been something of, oh, that was a bit of an unintended consequence. How can we change this? And even when it hasn't been something that we could possibly do, or there hasn't been a quick workaround in the present time, you have actually been willing to listen and help support us with that. So that's my take on that one.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jennifer. That's great to hear, especially like we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into making sure that the support team gets back to people within a specific time frame. And even if you email myself or James, you know, we will chat about that internally, and we look at every bit of feedback. You know, what's possible, what's not. Will this impact the broader user base, and will it impact them in a positive way? And if so, we will go ahead and we'll build that solution, or we'll add it to our roadmap. So, yeah, so many of the great things that have come from Astalty have come from our users. So, I mean, it's really in our best interest to listen to the people using it day in and day out. So, appreciate all that feedback. Appreciate the kind words there, and so you guys were using us for support coordination. You heard about scheduling. You went through the demonstration. And then after the demonstration, was there a specific feature or anything that you thought, you know what, I really like the look of that. Let's give this a try.
Not really a specific feature. To be honest, it was just my desire to say, and I'm being brutally honest here, it was my desire to say, screw you, ShiftCare. You did not help us when we asked. And so I guess my feature was having someone who would be responsive.
I guess that customer support is the big thing. Just being able to shoot an email through, pick up the phone, and chat to someone. Got it. And I guess, so you guys have been on board now for, what is it, 2 months? 3 months?
2 going on 3.
Yeah. For 3 months. I think you guys are one of our like very first kind of scheduling adopters. So I guess, how's it been internally since you've made the change, and what areas have you kind of seen the biggest impact?
Yeah, I think Siv will be the best person to discuss that from rostering side.
I think it's fairly straightforward. There were some gaps that we actually identified, and your team was really, really quick to act on them, especially to do with group supports. I think we were not able to make certain changes, and we had to actually delete the whole shift and make it up again. But yeah, just as Jen said, we love how your team responds, and they come up with the solutions really fast, and they tell us, okay, we've done this. They give you that feedback back. So yeah, so everything's fixed on that end.
And we spoke about it earlier, but the SCHADS award alerts, obviously we just shipped the SCHADS award alerts, being able to, before you roster someone, be able to see exactly what that might trigger. How has that helped the business?
Do you want me to answer that really quickly? Because I've got a perfect example of it. It was actually with the support for Emma. I realised that we were going well over her hours and getting charged a lot of, we were playing overtime when we didn't really need to be. And so it promptly clipped me in, so I can actually see it now that it's going to affect in a positive way what we are actually paying out. So the business will run in a more financially viable method.
Being able to pick up those things before it comes to payroll, and you're not paying out overtime, and
Correct.
then until it triggers, then you go, where did this come from? So
Correct.
awesome, guys. And I guess any other advice to anyone who's kind of like looking at Astalty, who's thinking about coming across, anything you'd like to share with anyone who's still a little bit on the fence?
Mhm. I think if they are looking to have their processes much easier and streamlined, instead of using multiple tools, they can really switch to Astalty, where um, there are some features that you no longer need other tools, like for the forms that we need to send out to our participants. We can do it inside Astalty already. We don't need another, tool to do that. And it also automatically updates the record of the participants, which is really helpful also, because if you forget to do that, it's already there. I mean, it also helps you, make your life easier.
Awesome. Jen, anything you'd like to add to before we wrap up?
Just on what, building on from what Anne was saying, I have been sort of encouraging the whole team to sort of view Astalty not as a rostering platform, to actually see it as a CRM, because you are actually able to do an end-to-end process, which I don't think we have ever had before. And I think, I got a lovely little incident report thing that came in on my email, and I got the response, and it looks professional, the way it comes across. So yeah, I think I can emphasize that I really see it as a CRM system, and not just a rostering system.
Yeah.
So you get more bang for your buck, really.
Absolutely. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing the feedback.